but there were only one, creature that was in his eyes, unfortunately.
Indeed, because last week we escaped to the village of Eastvale and sort of were just booking it out of the city. Gindris managed to cause Zapanyr to retreat for a time, which allowed you to slow your pace down but keep a lookout and get to the village. There were some RP moments during that, which I'll encourage you to go and watch last week's episode to go and find out. Nothing of too much gravitas, but some fairly key moments for Dargon, meeting not one but two deities. Stream's still up, just mind. So yes, meeting not one but two deities in a bizarre vision type of thing, and as a result getting the benefits of a long rest, and getting healed by some of the Hierophants.
The best.
Not quite getting the long rest, but certainly back up to 4 hit points. And then we entered Eastvale. There was a brief standoff between the villagers, the militia of Eastvale, if you like, and this horde of people that came running in, and Eastvale not necessarily willing to help out because of the way they'd been treated by Mantineer. Ander had a kingly moment where he made a very regal speech and convinced the villagers to help. Convinced the villagers to flee into the forest, where one Aoife, the forest guardian, then appeared and escorted them all to something known as a great tree. Nobody quite knows what that is, apart from Aoife and me. But yes, we then very quickly had to try and organise ourselves before Zapanyr the White, the Mistress of Bears, landed. I say landed with a very, very big crash as she sent some of the Hierophants of Zapanyr to their icy deaths, and then landed in the middle of Eastvale, and the fight began. Numerous of the villagers, or the city folk of Mantineer who had stayed behind, 12 in fact, turned into werebears, which was a bit of a surprise to everyone. But in that moment, as people were landing and werebears were forming, your allies appeared almost seemingly perfectly in that moment, as Ethereal brought everyone through, and Kirik and a number of others, Ethereal and the crew of the Winter's Tale, all joined the fight to defeat Zapanyr. And the fight began, and the fight went in for 4 rounds, which is that's the total number of rounds we made last week, because there was a lot going on. That will hopefully go a lot quicker tonight. Things are going to shift. We will see what happens. But yes, we get straight into the fight. So hopefully everybody's got the map. Any questions before we kick off?
Can I have advantage?
No.
I tried.
Unless you're in a situation that gives yourself advantage, no. But I like your style. So, just to remind everybody of where we're at, we have already taken out 2 groups of werebears. There is one more which is following after Dargon, who has now finally decided to activate the Solar Swift, and the wings have come out, and he is now flying. Gindris with Ander on his back, although Ander's gone missing for some reason on my screen. Oh no, he's there. I just can't see him. There we go. Yep.
I have my hood up.
That's all good.
Yes, and I also have the ogre, whatever it is.
No, you've got the investiture of stone on.
That's the one.
So yes, the investiture of stone is activated. Gindris is flying 55 feet in the air with Ander on his back shooting arrows. Zapanyr is currently still on the ground. Bothrid, Kirik, both face to face with the Zapanyr. Kirik is currently paralysed, thanks to a paralysing gaze. Peggy is just fucking around 100 foot up in the air, sort of circling the battlefield. The crew of the Winter's Tale are taking on the final werebear of the sort of second group, and Remley is chasing after this group of werebears with his short dwarven legs, but he'll get there. And Headam is right smack in the middle there, bloodied currently, with Ethereal and Carstan off to the north. So, with all that going on, as I read that like some sort of weather report, let's get straight into it. No need to roll initiative, we're already in it. So first up is Remley, who can't do a lot at his current distance. So he's going to try and close that gap with a walking speed of 25 feet. So he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Going to have to dash. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 will get him up in line with the werebears. And all he can do then is take a bonus action, which means he can do fuck all. So I think, in fact, he will use his bonus action to use Second Wind. And he is going to regain 1d10 plus 16 hit points. Where's a d10 when I need it? Of all the fucking dice. D10, D10, D10. There we go, there's one. 4. So 20 hit points he's going to gain back.
Go, blimey, Harry.
So that will be Remley's go. And then it is over to Charlie, who has got her dancing rapier out. Of which she is just going to attack with that.
I got arrested when I got my dancing rapier out in the park.
They'll let you off with a stiff warning though, mate.
Hey.
Oh, and there we go. First roll of the night for Charlie Swift, and she gets a natural 20 to strike with the dancing rapier. So that will be 2d8 plus 4. For a grand total of 10 hit points against Werebear C. Werebear C taking a battering as a result. Let's just quickly check Charlie's bonus actions. Ooh. Yeah, no, they're good. So that'll be Charlie. Straight over then to Ander. You are 55, 56-ish feet up in the air on the back of this fucking giant, gargantuan, ancient dragon. Ancient silver dragon.
I am going to use a +2 arrow, and I will aim for one of the eyeballs of Zapanyr, seeing she just looked at Kirik and made him paralysed. I won't use steady aim, I'll just fire it. So that will be... Oh, that was a 19 as well. Nearly a 3. That's 34 to hit.
34 will hit.
Oh, it's a shit on the damage roll though. 11 piercing damage, but I get sneak attack because she's engaged with an enemy. And there's a sneak attack of... Oh, there's a 1, 2, or 3 in there. 17.
So 17 sneak attack damage and initial 11 points of damage, yeah?
Yeah. And I will then give Bardic Inspiration to Kirik, hoping he can use it on a saving throw to stop being paralysed. So he'll just hear like a bird caught in his ear.
Oh, that's interesting. So I'm going to spin that around. I don't think that means we can see the paralysed anymore, but it's all good. So let's do this a different way, shall we? In fact, no. I just need to make it so that they engage brain map. Promise there's one there somewhere. It's not paralysed that I want. Hey, that was marvellous.
I do believe you're looking for the one that says screwed.
No, I'm looking for that one, but I want to put it in the right place.
Ooh, let's see what it is.
So, Bardic Inspiration, we're just going to spin upside down. And I'm going to move that. There. There you go, so you can see you are bardically inspired and paralysed. Oh, that was a lot of effort. Carry on, sir. Anything else on your turn?
Well, he's got disadvantage for his terrible joke in the chat. Somehow has.
I'm quite proud of that joke. That's a good one.
It's really good.
The fact that you were just sat there really smug, just swinging in your chair like, yeah, proud of that.
For those not playing the home game,
in not your first language is always a victory.
So yeah, for those not playing the home game, in the chat right now there was a lot of werebear jokes coming in, to which Samal typed, "If only you were aware of your words," or more words even. There we go. We need a groan sound effect. A sound effect.
Yeah.
No.
Let me find it.
So, if that's your go, then we are over to Dargon.
Grub.
Pucker up is the right term.
Yeah. He unfortunately doesn't see really that Kirik's in need. So he's going to.
You can make a perception check if you'd like.
I should make a perception check. It is actually because I have my shield out with advantage. So I probably do at a 23 actually.
23, you would notice that Kirik is just sort of seized up mid-motion and seems totally unable to move. You can see his eyes are the only things that are sort of flashing about.
Do I know? No, I don't. I won't know. I'm going to decide that there's not a lot I can do for him other than attempt to get her attention.
Okay.
So I also said, yeah, I'm 15 feet up in the air.
You are 15 foot up in the air. Like
Okay.
a gnat, just buzzing around its dragon's head.
An 8'6" gnat. Compared to this dragon, a gnat. Right, here we go. I am going to fly down, and I will use one of my maneuvers. This is an extra mover, so it's part of my movement. This turns up, so I need to fly down next to him. So that will be 20 feet.
Yep, that's fine.
Sorry, I forgot that move with me. And then I'll grab hold of Kirik and I will switch. Oh, well, I suppose actually what I'd need to do is I would actually need to move to there. So an extra 5 foot of movement. I still have.
No, technically you've not moved out of melee range.
Cool. And then, as you say, even if it doesn't provoke this, I will use my bait and switch. So I will now swap with Kirik.
Nice.
So I move him. I would just point out he does not need to use any part of his movement. Yeah.
Fine.
He will also get, because I'm choosing him, until the start of my next turn, Kirik gains an AC of a D10 that I've just rolled, and I rolled a 9. So you add that.
Nice.
Bitchin'.
That
My
is...
AC is... My AC is 31.
Nice.
Fucking
Sake.
I'm going to add that because that looks beautiful.
Okay.
Yep, 31 AC.
So, for flavour then, Dargon, describe to me how you move the paralysed Kirik.
Well, in all seriousness, I was showing the fact that I had to technically get into the place that he was going to get into, but in all seriousness, the flair of it would be that I just fly straight down, grab him, move him out of my way, like pick him up, move him, and then stand and face Zapanyr in a fairly fluid
So you
sort of
fly
round
down,
movement.
and as you land, you just sort of place a palm against Kirik's lower stomach and just shove enough to slide Kirik back 5 feet on the ice.
So that will be as part of my movement. I will then use a fainting attack that as I do that, I will swing back round and sort of, as I've done that, jab in at the same time. So that will also give me, and I can use more than one manoeuvre on one turn. So I will now roll to hit with that. But that should give me an advantage.
Just while you're doing that, because I totally forgot to talk about this at the beginning of the stream, and we all just glossed over the fact we went straight into the fucking fight. The giveaway, which is arguably the really important thing for the next couple of weeks. So while Dargon's rolling his to hits, and we'll come back to them in a minute, don't forget we are doing a giveaway as part of our sort of centenary episode joint with a 2-year anniversary celebration. So if you have been on social media over the last couple of days, you will have noticed we published a couple of pictures, some sneak previews of the artwork that is up for grabs. So 2 lucky winners will be getting one of those pieces each. So one person will get the painting of the image of Kirik, one person will get the image of Reiko, and then there's also a t-shirt up for grabs as well. So there are 3 prizes to be won. The rules of said giveaway are also on social media, but just to recap very quickly, if you are a subscriber, you get 5 tickets per week for each week you are a subscriber. If you are a follower, you get 1 ticket per week for each week you're a follower. So if you follow now, you will obviously get those tickets for subsequent weeks. If you subscribe now, you get your bonus tickets for the subsequent weeks. But if you're active in the chat, you get an extra bonus ticket each week you're active in the chat. So the more active you are, you have the opportunity to have your hat in the ring for more opportunities to win. And of course, the artwork is lovingly provided by the ridiculously talented Mertha, who is in the chat as well. So massive shout out to Stick there. Thank you, it's awesome, I love it. I'm going to get copies of them both anyway and probably plaster them all over my walls. Good stuff. So, with that said, back to the action. Dargon.
Okay, so I think we saw the first one hit. I can't remember what it was. Like 17 plus, there was a 30.
Yeah.
Then a 22.
Is the magic number.
Oh, and then a 26. So that was a grand total of...
All 3 hits.
Bollocks. 48 points in total.
Holy shit. Excellent.
Nice.
Which is enough.
Enough. There were...
2. What was happening here?
Hang on a minute, let me just check. Oh.
She bloodied.
Yep, no, there's 48, you're right. Should not try and do math myself.
In bloodied state.
Oh.
So yes, I've updated the bloodied token. We have a
Nice.
brand new bloodied token there. So, Zapanyr is currently bloodied as a result of that.
Not that it matters to her as well, but is she also... I really don't think it does anything to her, but is she in the range of my...
Investiture of Stone?
Yeah, and basically it means...
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I've really got to remember that. Sorry. No, it actually says I need to use my action to create a small earthquake, so I still haven't done it yet. That's fine.
Good stuff.
I'm staying there. I'm guarding Kirik.
Tabby Dozy. Okay, as you finish your turn then, and bits of gore begin to just like splatter all over the place now, and you can see Zapanyr starting to take substantial damage. She is going to take a legendary action.
Better be to heal.
She is going to make a wing attack. So the skeletal-like wings with these tattered bits of skin just beat a great force of energy down. So each creature within 10 feet, which will be not Zapanyr, will be Gindris, Dargon, Kirik, and Bothrid. You all need to make dexterity saving throws.
If I'm on Gindris, do I need to make it too?
I automatically fail dexterity saving throws.
Kirik, you automatically fail. Technically, Andy, you are outside of that. In fact, no, ignore me. Gindris doesn't need to make a save because he's 55 feet in the air. So yeah, Kirik, Dargon and Bothrid. Kirik, as I say, you automatically fail. Yep. So I'll roll for Bothrid, who is raging, and he gets advantage. That's a good thing. So still fails though. Dargon, what'd you get?
Nice.
Nat 20. So we're going to halve that anyway.
Total of 20. Well, total of 22. So I still don't know whether that technically
22 was. So 22 was the number you needed to save.
Wow.
Because it's natural, you are going to halve the damage again. In fact, you are going to take no damage.
Whee.
Because it does not get halved. I'm just going to double check that.
Why do I not have
Yeah,
one of those features where you can pass that to someone else?
So you are
You're not a halfling.
saved. So that is going to be a total to Bothrid and Kirik of 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And 7 points of cold damage. So that's a total of 26 points, which for Bothrid, because it's raging, is reduced to 13. But Bothrid is knocked prone. And Kirik is also knocked prone like a skittle, just. So I'm not going to. I suppose I could add another one on top if you really wanted it to.
I'll look after you.
All the conditions to Kirik tonight.
Sorry.
So we're going to attach that one to that one. Throw it on there. Rotate. Oh, there you go. That was marvellous. Can't even fucking see the thing right now. Kirik, there we go. Put that on there. I'm going to spin that around there. So, Kirik is now prone as well.
Brilliant.
And that will be part of the legendary action. However, Zapanyr is then going to fly upwards, directly upwards, 40 feet.
She provoke opportunity attack.
Yeah.
Opportunity attack from Dargon. Bothrid's prone, so that's going to be a struggle.
Okay. And you know what? For once, I don't think I hit.
Oh man, come on, that's the one that needed to hit.
I know. I literally. My God. Do you know what? How crazily close it was? 21.
Oh.
Not quite enough, unfortunately.
Could have bloody well kept her there.
Could have done. So there we go. Zapanyr is flying as well.
God damn it.
And she is 40 feet in the air as she just takes to the sky with that single wing beat and is up. Is now within sort of 15 feet of Gindris. So then, that being the legendary action, Bothrid is going to stand up using half his movement speed. And can't really do anything except take something out as a bonus action, which he has not used in a very long time.
Whoa, come on.
Now, Zapanyr is 40 feet in the air, so Bothrid is going to take this javelin of lightning off his back. And he knows this is out of his range, but he's still going to try for it. So he's going to throw this with all his might as all of that rage just bubbles up, and he just throws the javelin upwards and speaks a word in Druidic as he does, and it just changes into this bolt of lightning that streaks towards Zapanyr. So we're going to roll to hit first. That was a 22 on the first roll. And an 18 on the second one. So the javelin doesn't quite reach its intended target. However, let me just make sure. Extends out to you for a target within 120 feet. So the bolt of lightning just streaks out towards Zapanyr, who needs to make a dexterity saving throw. I think she's probably got it, but we'll just double check anyway. Yeah, just a bit. 21 to save. So as this bolt of lightning just you see Zapanyr just banked to the side slightly, and the javelin just lands in the ice. Bothrid very, very angry there. So that will be Bothrid's action, bonus action. There's not a lot else he can do. So given the state of this now, let me just double check on that. Okay, he can't end his rage as a bonus action because he's used it. So that will be Bothrid's go. It's then Karstan's go. So Karstan's got this brand new, strange, bizarre rifle that he's using. Gets 3 attacks with it, and he's just gonna still within range. I think. So that's 45. 40. Yeah, still within range. So he's going to try and attack 3 times with this rifle. So these 3 shots ring out. First one just straight over the top, out into no man's land. Second one clips a wing. Third one again just flies off. So that is going to be 14 points of piercing damage to Zapanyr. As this wing, part of the wing just blasts out. Excellent. Then okay. It will then be where Bear Seas go, who is all the way back over with the crew of the Winter's Tale, is still slowed and can only make a single attack with this icy great axe that it has hold of. So let's do a d6. Who's he going to choose? Gore, who is raging. So that is going to be 15 to hit, which I do not think. Oh, he just meets Gore's armor class. So the other thing that's going to happen. No, that's on Gore's turn. So yeah, that will hit. So that's going to be a grand total of one of them. Max damage on the slashing damage, which is 17, which will be halved because Gore is raging, to 9 points of damage, and the additional cold damage of 6 points of cold damage, which Gore will take the full brunt of. And Gore is yet to be bloodied, but is getting there as he takes this big hit from the werebear. The werebear just slowly slashing across Gore with this icy great axe. We then have our second group of werebears, who are pretty much unscathed right now. So they are going to, as a group... Oh, hang on, that was marvellous. They are going to move. Come on. That's better. So they're going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 will get them to there with a dash. Both Hedam and Remley get attacks of opportunity. So we'll go with Remley first, who's going to swing out with his longsword at H. It's going to might just hit with a 13. It's a really piss poor roll. Hits with a 13 just. So Remley is going to do a grand total of max damage, 13 points of slashing damage to Werebear H, which is going to be halved, I believe, because of Werebear form. So how much damage did I say?
13, I believe.
That's reduced to 7 points of damage to H. As Remley just Hedam then.
Remley not using a magical weapon.
Got all of these open. Remley does not have a magical weapon, just a plain old longsword. Hedam is got his staff in hand, and he's just going to swing with that. But this is a pretty cool item that he has. So he's going to swing to hit H as well. With a 7, and misses. So in his sort of weary, bloodied form, only with one arm, he just swings around and the werebear just sort of darts past it. And that will be their go. So we are then over to Zapanyr herself. Let's just move the map, shall we?
Oh boy.
Yep, here it comes. So, Zapanyr is just gonna, from 40 feet up in the air, look down. Doesn't give a shit about the werebears or anything else around her now. And just. I'm gonna say that is gonna catch, because it is a cone coming from upwards, gonna blast out down. That is gonna catch Bothrid, Dargon, Kirik, the 4 werebears, and Hedam, but Remley is probably based on the angle. Now I'm going to make Remley save as well. So that is a Constitution saving throw, please. I'm going to roll for the werebears first. You can make those, and you are bardically inspired. The werebears all fail.
Ooh.
Good.
I believe I do too. I got a 16.
Fail.
What's your bardic die? 10?
The 8.
Bothrid gets a natural fucking 20 for a grand total of 31.
That's some
Well, I'm rolling a better Constitution saving throw than I did last week. Last week I rolled 1s, today I rolled a 2. So,
No.
dang it. I rolled a 7 on the inspiration die, which makes a total of 18.
So you get to keep that bardic inspiration despite still failing. And who else do we need to roll for? Hedam and Remley. So con for Remley is a natural 1.
Oh.
Not good.
And then Hedam is a 16 on the dice for a grand total of 23. Which means Hedam saves. So, let's roll some damage. So I'm going to roll this damage. No, not that damage. That's totally the wrong one. That one is really loud in my ear. 76 points of cold damage to anybody that failed.
Ooh, fuck
Remley is going to take 152 points of cold damage. because he nat one.
He gone.
He's still alive, thanks to the 20 or someone, however many hit points he regained, thanks to Stone's Endurance. Remley is somehow still alive, but this icy blast just cascades across him. He is bloodied.
I'm also definitely bloodied.
Yeah.
By the way.
That was 76, so halving that because I've got resistant cold.
38.
38.
Bothrid's also going to take 38 points of cold damage because he's still raging. That will be reduced again to 15, 19 points of cold damage. So Bothrid is fine. Kirik, you said you're
Bothrid went
bloodied.
from 76 to 19. That's fucking crazy.
Homebrew rules plus barbarian. So all of those werebears are going to take 76 points of cold damage, and they are resistant, so they will take half. So that will be 38, we said. 38. So GH F. As that icy blast screams down, Zapanyr is then going to move. And he's going to move 5, 10, 15. Let's do this the easy way, shall we?
Yes, let's use the amazing features.
I'm just going to make sure I get the right part of the token, which is marvellous. Hey, that was magic. So, oh, what a ball ache this is. Right, straight line. 80 feet in a straight line. Turn that off, and then down to there. So yeah, Zapanyr just streaks across. That will, however, give Gindris an attack of opportunity, I believe.
Oh, goody.
To go in for... Yes, just go in for a bite attack. Which is a 32 to hit. That's going to hit. So Zapanyr is going to take 18 points of piercing damage as Gindris just snaps at the tail as it comes past. 18 points. So then, I'm not sure why I've still got Werebear A with any hit points because they died a long time ago. We are then over to Hedam, who is going to panic slightly with the dragon now 40 feet above it. No, above him. What have we got? Go big or go home. Yeah, bollocks to it. Hedam's just going to look at that staff he's got. It's going to reach it directly up into the sky, and lightning bolt is going to beam out at what level is that? 5th level. So that's a dex save from Zapanyr. Ooh, it's an 8 on the die. For a grand total of 16, which is just enough to fail. So legendary resistance to succeed.
Hey, brilliant! Burn all of them bad boys.
So you just see Zapanyr sort of sees it coming in a moment. There's just sort of this aura, or somehow the lightning bolt just around Zapanyr rather than it actually connecting. There's some innate draconic magic comes into play there. Let's look quickly at Hedam's bonus actions then. He's
a wizard, he doesn't get shit.
Sorcerer, actually.
He gets more stuff.
Interesting. gusts of wind are going to start to surround Hedam as he casts that lightning bolt. And he is going to begin to fly.
Ooh. Everyone's flying. I'm going to fly. Feel left out.
And he's then going to move. I say, can I find any bit of this token that's going to allow me to move him?
Can you highlight the whole thing?
This is quite annoying. This is the one bit they need to try and fix, I think. So we're going to do that, and then we go, yeah, so 5, 10 feet, automatically as a bonus action, and then he's going to use the rest of his movement, which is 30 feet. In fact, no. Ooh, it does not get an official flying speed. It's just going to fly, in fact, in which case he's going to fly 10 feet, 5, 10, straight away. That way. That will be bonus action and spell attack. Geo then is going to step right up, and with the quarterstaff that she owns, she's going to attack twice. That is a hit on the first one with a 25, and a 13 with the second, which will just hit, so we're going to do that very quickly. Max damage on the first, 12, and minimum damage on the second, so 12, 5, that's a total of 17 points of damage to Werebase C. Where is it? 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 There it is. 17 points of damage. And yeah, go on then. It's looking really rough. She will use a key point, or 2 key points even, to use... No, 1 key point. Flurry of blows. And 2 on our
Flurry of blows.
16 hit with the first. Nat 20 with the second.
Nice.
So this is total overkill. 11 on the crit damage. 9 on the non-crit damage. So a grand total of 20 points of damage to Werebear C. And you just see Geo hit twice with the quarterstaff, throw the quarterstaff to the ground, and then she's going to do this sort of spinning heel kick that lifts the werebear's neck, just goes up, and as she spins around, she follows that with a straight roundhouse kick to the side of the bear's face, and the neck just, the whole head turns almost a full 180 degrees, and she's going to do that awesome Matrix-like spin at the end where she faces away and just lands on the ground, full superhero landing pose, and the bear's just going to drop down to the floor, dead.
Monks are the best.
She will then pick up the double-bladed quarterstaff, pick up the quarterstaff that she holds, thinking of Bothrid there, and is just going to sort of brush it off slightly and turn to her comrades. And now what? And that will be Geo's go. Next up, Feltag can do sweet fuck all, except he's going to start to move over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 will get him in range of F, but that is a dash, and he's not going to be able to do anything else because his bonus actions are pointless right now. So that's going to be Feltag go. Gindris, the Silver Mystery then.
We cannot let her escape. Bring your bow up, and we fight.
And Gindris is just going to fly. Ooh, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. In fact, just for the sake of it, I'm going to say, because he's going to get up to her anyway, but we're going to move Gindris over there so we can still see other people on the battlefield. And Gindris is going to just sort of bank around. And then Gindris is going to make a number of attacks. Gindris is not going to make a number of attacks. Gindris is going to make 1 attack. Gindris is just going to open his mouth, and this mist of icy breath just sort of... But it's similar to the effect that was used on Kirik, although that was a gaze, this was the breath. And because we're up in the air, that cone is only going to affect Zapanyr. Zapanyr needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Fails. Legendary resistance to succeed.
Oh! How many?
And
That's
he's
3.
not paralysed.
It's 3.
Oh.
And Zapanyr just sort of lashes out. Excellent. Kirik. I think you've got
Next
a couple
question,
of
please.
rounds left, haven't you?
Yeah, it was 4 rounds, I think.
So you are paralysed. I don't think you can do anything, can you?
Nope.
Good stuff. Unfortunately, that is your turn then, sir. So, Brallan then is going to follow Feltag. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 55, 60 up to there. Gord's going to do the same. Over to there. And then Ethereal. So, yeah, those werebears are on the line. Which is exactly what goes through Ethereal's mind. Because I think it's there somewhere. It is. Not yet. Not yet. I need to measure. I need to measure. Okay. With the white dragon in the air, Ethereal is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 to there.
Okay.
Good choice.
Wrong character sheet, there we go. And is then going to cast do I want to do it? Yeah, okay, he's going to cast a 6th level lightning bolt. So we're going to roll for those 3 werebears in a 1, which is a 17 on the dice. Oh, and they've got a dex of 0, so that's 17. That is a failure. So Ethereal this time is just going to beam this lightning bolt out. 11d6 points of lightning damage. 43 points of lightning damage to all of those werebears. So that was everyone but F. 43. 43. Not F. There's the other one.
So the bits of ice that are cracking off these ones are now being melted off by 10,000 volts worth of electricity. They've gone from frozen to charred pretty quickly.
Space of 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even that, less than that.
So H is looking brutalized at this point. And is really not good. And all 3 of those are now bloodied. There we go. They're all 3 all bloodied. That will be Ethereal's go. And Yeah, I suppose Dargon and Kirik, you're probably just within range to hear him mutter, "Just one more." That will be his go. Can't do it this round. Good stuff. We are back round the top then to Remley, who is pretty fucked, but he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. He's going to get up close and personal with H, and that's all he can do. Charlie is probably just going to stay there for now, just surveying the battlefield. And
I will use bonus action unsettling words on Zapanyr, and the unsettling words will be, "You're so ugly you make blind kids cry." And then I will cast, hopefully she's used aura resistances, because I'm going to cast, can't even say it, Rowler Thim's Psychic Lance. I'm just going to do Psychic Lance,
nice.
Please. So that is an Intelligence 19 saving throw minus a D8.
Oh, minus a D8. So,
Please.
The intelligence save on the dice without the D8 is an unnatural 20.
Okay, come on.
We'll use the white one. What is your save, please, sir?
19.
Failure.
Oh!
However,
Oh,
with
fuck
the
off.
There we go.
final legendary resistance, or
You
Zapanyr is
absolute
going to
ballbag.
save.
No, that is brilliant.
Not for me, who's only got 2 4th level spell slots left.
No,
I've
it
got
doesn't
one
matter.
left.
Heavy hitters come in. Right.
God damn it!
That was
So you
really
just see
useful.
Zapanyr sort of heads sort of around looking for this lightning bolt wherever it came from, and then she just snaps towards you as this wave of psychic energy reaches out towards her, and you feel like it's going to connect, and in that minute her eyes flash, and again some form of draconic magic just almost forms this invisible barrier, and the spell just dissipates across it. Anything else in your turn, sir? I think that's it, isn't it?
Other than looking disappointed, no.
I'd say you look pretty pissed off at this point. Okay, Dargon.
He's going to look up, he's going to assess, he's going to see the fact that we've got all these people in front. First of all, I believe so it may let's have a look here. The wording on my Solar Swift armor is that I am currently giving off an ambient light of 30 feet around, and that I, at my discretion, have a healing pool of 50 points. If that is something I can use now, I would like it to all pummel into Kirik.
Okay, so you just see this radiant light just almost streak towards Kirik and glow around him. So you get 50 points of health back, Kirik.
I don't believe that that's actually like used any action per se, unless you
It is a free capability.
lovely
of
the armor itself. E, G, and H are looking worse for wear.
H is looking fucked. E's not looking great. G's looking less so, but H is definitely looking the worse for wear. And F is looking relatively okay.
Oh man. Okay, first of all, the natural unresponsive thing will be that I move round here. So to move round him, was that 5-10 feet, presumably? Or step over him would be the same thing, so
Yeah, so, yeah, 10 feet.
Same thing.
You're no longer 15 feet in the air either, are you?
No, and Kirik, you will have lost your additional AC there, I'm afraid, because it's now my turn again. Am I within... Here comes the trigonometry. Am I within 60 feet of Zapanyr?
40 feet down. 30 feet across. Gonna make this. There we go. Right. So, what do we say?
How close am I?
40. 30.
I possibly believe so. 50 feet in the diagonal,
50.
I'm guessing. Yeah?
50. Yep. So yeah, you're fine. 30 feet to the outer edge of Zapanyr, basically. Ish.
Yeah.
Just going to delete that ruler.
Wishing he could do something that is still a useful roll. So I'm going to swipe at E, and I'm going to use a precision attack. So it's going to add a D10 to it, just if it hits, and I don't have to use it if it doesn't hit. That is 18 to hit.
18 to hit E will hit.
18 to hit E will hit. It will be 19 points of slashing damage to E.
19 points of slashing damage. And that was with Timuel's Wrath, right?
Yes. Yeah. I will strike again if he's still up for 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
13 points of damage.
13 points of damage, still up.
And then once more. Another 25 to hit for 10 points of slashing damage.
10 points of slashing damage. So you just move around Kirik and just this werebear. It takes all of the hits, but there are these huge, great, bloody slashes all over the midriff of this hulking werebear that sort of stands before you and just.
And as I do that, I will use my bonus action to throw my dagger up at Zapanyr using
Quick
toss.
Disadvantage?
It is at disadvantage, so it is going to miss with an 18.
It does, it just.
But it was worth a go.
Anything else on your turn?
That's my go.
We are then over to Bothrid, who, seeing the situation, is going to have a think. Bothrid is going to use a bonus action to cool his rage.
Ooh.
And he's going to take out Nature's Thread. And you're going to see Nature's Thread begin to glow as he runs up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 to there. And as Nature's Thread grows, water begins to form in front of Bothrid, And he is going to... In fact, he's going to step up one more. And this line of water is going to form. He's going to make it about the length so that it catches all of the werebears, but not Remley or Feltag. It is going to be 100 foot high.
Whoa!
And he is going to cast... In fact, no, he's not going to make it 100 foot high. He's going to make it 40 foot high because he can control this. And he is going to cast Tsunami using the... all of the charges that are on Nature's Thread. And
That's cool as fun.
blasts this spell out as this wave of water just... So the werebear's strength check is a 14 on the dice, which is then going to be
Pretty good.
a 19, which is going to save. So they're going to take half of the damage, so we'll do that first. So that is 37 points of damage halved to 19 points of damage to all of those werebears. 19, 8, really not looking good. E not looking good either. F still not bloodied. Now we need a strength save from Zapanyr. That's a 3 on the dice.
What, plus 12 though?
When I can find the fucking... There it is. Plus 8. So for a strength saving throw, that is a grand total of 11. Which means Zapanyr is going to take all of that damage. Which is 37 points of damage.
Nice.
And as she gets buffeted by this wave that just...
I believe it knocks you prone.
How does that work if you're flying?
You fall 40 feet.
It's a shame.
I think.
Unfortunately, dragons can swim. Well, this
It's great for the
dragon
tip
now.
hose
So
in the
it
water.
does not knock you prone. But Bothrid can now concentrate on this wave.
Blimey.
He's going to push it forward anyway, just for effect. I'm going to say, just for the sake of me managing this, because as cool as it would be, I'm going to forget about it anyway. We will do. Right, we'll keep the wall up. It's just blasted past Zapanyr for now. They take the damage, no other effects. So then that will be Bothrid's go, as Bothrid is concentrating now on this wave of water that is just blasted across the battlefield. Sort of tickled Remley's nose a little bit. Feltag's felt a little bit of rust on the front of him. But these werebears have not enjoyed that at all. That will then be Bothrid's go. We're over to then Karstan, who is going to have to move, because he ain't hitting shit from there. So he is going to come running 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 over to there. And if 40 feet up, $50 feet across. 40, 50. So that's 64. What's the range on that fucking thing? Oh, 80, okay, yep, fine. So he's going to make 3 more shots. Misses with the first. Hits with the second. Again, clips the wing. Oof. Just hits with the third as well. So that's going to be 10 points of damage with the first shot. Or the second shot, I was to say, and 15 points of damage with the third. So 25 points of damage total to Zapanyr. As these 2 bullets just blast out bone and bits of skin, and that will be Carstan's go. And then we are round 2 of the werebears. So we're going to make how many attacks do they get? It's just the one, I believe, isn't it? Ooh, they get 2. So we're going to make this nice and simple. I'm going to roll 2. Roll the dice twice for the 2 attacks. They're all going to use those same attacks, whoever they're trying to hit. So the first attack for all of them is a 14 plus stuff. That is a grand total of 22 to hit. And the second one is a natural 1. So only one of them is going to hit anyway. So the first one's going to go at Feltag, which will definitely hit. And we're going to use the same damage for all of this as well. Which is a grand total of 10 points of damage, so Feltag's going to take 10 points of damage, I believe. Yes, 10 points of damage. Dargon, what's your AC?
23.
So what did I say it was? 22 to hit, didn't it? So that does not hit you. Bothrid is going to get 2 attacks against him from the other 2 then, because they're both within melee range. And they've both just been hit by this wave, so both of those are going to hit, which is 10 points of damage. She's not raging anymore, so he's going to take the full 20 points of damage and 2 concentration checks. First one is an 18. Second one is an 18 again. Almost thought that was a natural 1 then. Panicked for a moment. Cool, that will be the werebears' go. They're not going to move. It is then Zapanyr's go. And in fact, at the end of the werebears' go, you are going to see Zapanyr's eyes just flash green. And this wave of energy is just going to blast out across the battlefield. And it ripples and it spreads to a radius of 150 feet. Basically washes across this whole village. And you see the ground begin to crack. And rotten hands peel their way out. Where there's corpses on the floor, they all begin to rise and writhe out, and there are now probably around about 25 zombies in the area. As they rise and all sort of stand up using that legendary action, the eyes are going to flare again, and you're going to see just this greenish energy reach up. And all of the zombies lift up and just begin to sort of shake and then shatter apart as Zapanyr claims the life force of those zombies.
Oh, she can fuck off, mate.
And that, what did I say? I said 25 different zombies, didn't I?
And she's going to be back to full health.
Maths.
Yeah, that's probably like at least 100 points that she won.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. Nice.
As this energy just feeds into Zapanyr then, She is no longer bloodied. Still flying.
Shit.
But absolutely not bloodied anymore. There we go. However, can't use those zombies, which is a bit of a shit. That will then be Zapanyrs go. She's not going to try and move from there, I don't think. In fact, no, fuck it, she's going to. So, that one. That one. 10. $80 over to there. Which would be an attack of opportunity from Gindris. That's an 18 on the dice, which I think is pretty much fucking clear cut to hit. And he is going to make, yeah, that's definitely going to hit a bite attack. So that's going to be 21 points of piercing damage from the bite attack on the attack of opportunity. It is then Hedam's go. What's Hedam got? Honestly, I think Hedam is just going to he's going to cast Mage Armor on himself. No, he's not, because I did this last time, didn't I? It's not, no point. So he is instead going to use a bonus action to Misty Step and immediately teleport 30 feet. Still flying. This is really annoying now. Over to there. Marvellous. So right down to there, and then he will run the rest of the the rest of the difference. 10, 15, 20, 30, up to there. So he was just trying to get himself back to safety and back to the arms of his comrades. He's going to use some sorcery points then. I think he has to do that as a bonus action, so ignore me. So yeah, that will be that. And those winds have calmed down. Geo is sort of seeing this. She will dash towards these werebears. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. She's going to get to there. That will be her dash. Feltag then will make a few swipes at the werebear, then using his Moontouch Greatsword. Let's do this the easy way. 3 attacks. 1. Oh, just hits. Second one, unnatural 20. Third one, just hits as well. So 3 attacks. So that's going to be 17, 30, 41 points of slashing damage with the Moontouch Greatsword. 2F. 41, which is finally enough to bloody the fucker.
Nice.
So there we go. That is, no, why have I put that in Feltag? What a moron. There we go. So that one's bloody. That's Feltag's go. Whoa, there's a big old ruler just lined up.
That's me.
Gindris's go then. Gindris. Yeah, okay, so Gindris is going to move into this area here. In fact, he's going to sort of hover above you all. Imagine he's hovering above you all. I'm just putting it there. And all of you notice as time stops. And you can all move about freely. And Gindris is just going to roar out above you all. And notice the werebears are frozen. Zapanyr frozen. Karstan, Gore, Hedam, Charlie. In fact, I'm going to say the whole crew of the Winter's Tale are all frozen. It is Ethereal and the 4 of you plus Gindris who are active within this time stop. And you can see the strain on him as this wave of energy just sort of like...
We do not have much time. Get Kirik on his feet. I will heal what I can. We have seconds at most. Prepare yourselves.
So, 2 rounds.
Nice.
To do what we need to. So, I'm going to do this just 2 rounds straight away as we get to the characters. So, Kirik, it's up to you, or straight to you. That will be the 3rd and 4th round, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you've had 2 rounds now where you've been paralysed. So, at the end of that time period, you would be up, not paralysed anymore. So,
I mean, not knowing that, my immediate reaction would have been to cast Lesser Restoration on him anyway.
Okay, well, we'll do that then. So you cast Lesser Restoration with 1 action, or 1 round.
Yes.
Which means, Kirik, you've got a round to do something if you wish.
Yeah, I think that's better. I
Kill 'em
prefer
all.
that. I would also plant him a Healing Light for shits and giggles. So in the same round you get 4
I'll
points.
leave that there just in case then. 4 points.
Yeah, not much, but
I don't think that's going to unbloody
Okay.
him.
It doesn't it might do, actually.
yeah.
Yep.
So we'll say Gindris, while he's holding this time stop, because he doesn't have to concentrate on this one, is going to cast a Cure Wounds at 4th level for Kirik, and because he's hovering over, we'll say sort of drops down briefly, the tail sort of brushes against your back. That is going to be a 4th level Cure Wounds, which will be a grand total of 5d8 plus spellcasting ability modifier, so that will be 13
Bloody is half health.
plus it is.
Definition.
So 13 plus spellcasting ability modifier for a grand total of 19... 24 by my maths. 24 points of healing.
Is Ander doing anything? I'd also say that in my other round I would attack E, if I was allowed.
Okay, you can. Time is stopped, so they can't do anything. You can still move. So if you want to use your other action to attack E 3 times, you crack on.
Yeah, it's damn right. Does a 17 hit?
17 will hit.
Cool. All 3 hit.
All 3 hit. Roll the damage. In fact, roll me 1.
That was 15.
Roll me a second.
10.
10. He's dead. You can use your third and final attack on another one if you want. Oh,
Yeah, I'll use the third and final on G.
so we'll say you move.
Yeah, I'll move
Down
down. 13 points of slashing damage to G.
13 points of slashing damage to G, so G's not looking great. Okay, that will be you, Kirik, then, in your single round. What do you wish to do?
Can I move? Sorry,
to...
can I just move away from G as well? Sorry.
Yep.
In my round, as Dargon is moving between Ethereal and myself, I will just grab on to... I will put my hand on Timil's Wrath, and I will say, let her guide your strikes. I'm going to cast Holy Weapon on it.
Nice. Holy weapon it is.
2d8?
Hold call. Yes. 2d8 radiant damage. That's a bonus action. As an action, I am now concentrating.
Concentration.
And as I grab the blade, I'll look to Dargon, and I will say, don't go far, we've got a dragon to kill. And then I will... actions. Don't have much I can do, so... that's gonna be it. No, I guess I'll cast Sacred Flame on F, or H, because H is looking pretty bad.
Okay.
So that is a Dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity saving throw. Ooh, what's that? That's potentially high. Nope. That's a 19, sorry.
My spell save DC is 20, so...
I was going to say, during a time stop, can they?
Disadvantage on it.
4, 8, and 2...
In fact, that wasn't disadvantage. Let's do that again. Yeah, a definite failure. Yeah.
12 plus 6, 18 points of radiant damage.
To G or H?
H.
18 to H, wasn't it? Excellent. So as you take H out and the radiant damage just felled it, it's obviously stuck in place. Ethereal's going to have been looking around. You can see him every time somebody goes to do something. He's going to cast a spell.
Will you stay still for 5 fucking minutes?
And which means he can cast that at a lower level now. So he is going to cast a 5th level banishment. And I've already rolled for the werebears to save. They failed. So in this moment, the 2 werebears banished to a plane. And that's not a that is a concentration spell, sorry.
Indeed.
And he will then turn to you all.
You have a moment now. Deal with the icy witch and bring her down.
Gindris is going to finally turn to you all.
I cannot hold this for much longer. You have
No, don't
the
turn into a person yet.
abilities. Take to the skies. Defeat her at her own game. Join me, Wardens.
And yeah, Bothrid, doing the only thing he can fucking do, he's going to wild shape.
Will Gindris be able to
Pigeon.
fly for my turn, by the way?
Say again.
Will Gindris
Yes.
be able to fly for my... Because I've got a stupid idea.
Gindris can move. Bothrid's going to have to kill a spell, and
So going off the 2 rounds, I don't think that I can move any more because I didn't move from my first movement because I wanted to help Kirik, and then I moved in my second one when I was trying to do anything. So if I understand it correctly, I ain't going anywhere.
I think Kirik can do what we need him to.
Yeah.
He's only a level 6 druid.
Bothrid,
So
can he
can't
turn into a
fly
flamed
yet.
creature?
Cannot fly yet, as far as I'm aware.
In the mood, druid.
With CR2 or as high as CR2, can't fly just yet. Yeah, wild shape. So CR2 alert, but don't have a flying speed. So Bothrid's just going to sort of look at you all.
Oh, it's up to you. Go.
And that will be Bothrid. So then, you wanted Gindris to move, so Gindris will move.
So,
where do you need him? How
Can
far?
I tell you my plan in totality, and then you'll tell me if
Yes.
it's possible? So what I
Of
want
course.
to do with my two moves, I want Gindris to fly me towards Zapanyr as I do Unsettling Words and cast Phantasmal Killer. First off, but then with my second move, if Gindris does a barrel roll and I fall off him, right, and I use steady aim, technically I'm not moving. I've just fell off him. Does steady aim still count?
Yes.
Boom. Okay.
Rule of cool.
So
I'm absolutely fucking going for that.
first move, Unsettling Words. I will grind your bones.
How
with my bread
close do
as
you
I'm
need to
flying
be to
towards
Zapanyr?
Directly above, during the barrel roll.
Right, okay, so you're going directly above. So we will say then, Gindris has moved this distance, and I'll say as this happening, the time stop is beginning to fail as everybody starts to do things. Andy, you are the last one. You've prepared all this energy, and you are now focusing all your bardic abilities as Gindris just
Well then, under, now's the time.
streaks forward towards Zapanyr. And you can see
So,
time slowly beginning to break out.
I'm
Zapanyr
excited.
slowly turns. You
Phantasmal Killer, Wisdom 19 saving throw minus a D8. Come on. Fail it. Fail it. Fail it.
21.
You cunt. You bastard.
With a minus
That's right.
D8. Bugger!
The minus D8
No,
was a
that's-
3. So, sorry, 13 plus 22, sorry.
Oh, right, rub it in, you got better. Okay, so that's that out of the window, so he's not frightened of me, which
Do
makes
you know
it a bit
what?
less
Well, no,
cool.
no, we're going to time. It's time stopped. It's time stopped. Disadvantage. Natural 20 on the second one, so don't worry about it.
Fucking hell. Taking a piss now.
Sorry.
So, but that's okay. So that fails.
That
In my
fails.
giddiness. So then, as he barrel rolls, I will use steady aim as I just plummet towards Zapanyr with the moon blade out, and I'm going to go down the back of its head and go down its back to land on the dragon with my blade in it for Nylan.
Okay. Roll to hit then, please. In fact, make me... No, because you're just dropping like a stone. You're not actually trying to land this. You
Yeah.
just...
The 28 of that.
28's going to hit, for definite.
which is then 9 piercing damage, and then I can use Assassinate.
You can.
Which is, come on, demi shit. An extra 35 damage. So now I'm holding onto the back of the dragon via a blade in its back.
Now that replaces sneak attack, is that right?
Yeah, it doesn't stack, unfortunately.
No.
Otherwise I would be unstoppable. Yeah, so now I'm riding Zapanyr like Seabiscuit.
Roll that as critical damage, please. Zapanyr can't move. Time stopped.
Oh, I'll press it
you
again.
You could pick literally pick your precision point here.
Well, if it's quick, just double it.
So that would have been 18. Yeah, so it's double dice damage. So you rolled. Let's bring up the game log. We can work this out.
So it was 35 assassinate damage and 9 piercing damage.
So your Moonblade would have been 12 points of damage. So an additional 3. And on top, yeah. And then your assassinate damage. So that's just I can't see all the dice on that one. So it would have been 31 looking at that because it's +1 modifier. So 31, 62, 66 points of assassinate damage as you drop like a stone, just falling and then and scrape down. And in that moment, as Gindris then barrels off, you are now balanced on top of Zapanyr.
What I was hoping would be the case is it would be frightened of me, but I'm attached to it, and I wanted to know how that would work. Because they can't move.
That would have been absolutely fucking amazing. It would have just been.
I mean, the pure psychic damage to that would have been absolutely glorious.
So Gindris is going to bank off then. So I'll say as time sort of. Gindris just barrel rolls and then spins round back off and around here somewhere. As we then take to the skies with Zapanyr and Gindris. Dargon, are you flying?
I am flying.
You're going to fly. Kirik, would you like to call Peggy?
Not really.
No? So you're going to stay on the ground?
Yeah.
Cool. In which case, then, I think that's a good point as time begins to sort of resume. Let's take a short break, shall we, as that awesome moment happens with Ander falling onto the back of Zapanyr. Yes, we will be back momentarily. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to get yourself with an extra chance to win those goodies if you're in for the giveaway. But yes, get a drink, have a stretch, relax. Let's see what happens on the second half. Bananas.
Hello. That was way too late, man.
No, it really was. It really was. Well, it was nice for me to try and fuck you guys up instead, but there we go.
Well, you said something too PG-13.
well-
You should have said something like, I don't know, gooch or perineum.
Twat flaps?
Twat flaps.
Excellent. So then, as we move into round 8, technically now, everybody is a bit disoriented except for you guys.
C and D
Sound
werebear
times
just
I'm having a
drop
quick-
for no reason.
Yeah. So 2 werebears die, 2 others disappear in an instant, or just aren't there anymore. Gindris is all of a sudden in a different area. Ander is on the back of Zapanyr, which I don't think Zapanyr quite noticed just yet. And yeah, the rest of the party, or the rest of the adventurers and your allies are wondering, what the actual fuck? Bothrid is there just prepped, and Remley, you can see, as he goes to take his turn, lifts up his longsword like...
What the fuck happened here?
And that will be his go, because he's a bit stunned. So we're going to skip over the Winter's Tale now, because they can do sweet fuck all. Ander, straight to you. You're on the back of this ancient white undead dragon. Pardon me.
You skipped
So if she
my
hasn't-
turn, I believe.
Say again?
Skipped my turn, I believe.
Oh, he's got his one thing left, hasn't he? Have you?
Oh, you have it.
Turn
One
out
thing
time
left.
stuff.
Dave's just flicking around all over the shop there.
Yeah.
That was going well.
Yep, sorry. Sorry. Back
matching
to...
buttons.
Carry on.
Yeah, I will see what Ander see that is on top of Zapanyr, and I will kind of use Strength of the Sticks as a bonus action to start with. So pulling out the cold within the territory to grow in size. And
I will do that for you.
then I will pop a hand on Dargon's shoulder, and I will say, he's going to get himself killed, we need to get there. And I'm going to dimension both of us to the top of Zapanyr.
Holy shit.
Oh no, that thing again.
So,
Beautiful, Kiri. Beautiful.
The best rodeo you will ever see.
boom. There we go. 1 and... Fuck it. There's a square around here somewhere. There we go.
Should be.
The 3 of you, Andy, you just sit there, Moonblade still in, as you twist it and begin to bring it out when... And you can feel Zapanyr
guys.
physically sort of... Bothrid to the bottom just like...
Hi guys.
That's my turn.
Kirik, you
Hold
are
on for dear
still
life.
bardically inspired. That was a fucking awesome turn. Right, brilliant. Sorry, totally missed that. Cool. As Kirik then bamps Dargon and himself up onto the back of Zapanyr, even Gindris, I think, is there going, what the fuck? And yeah, Ander, it's your go.
So now I'm on her, I can use steady aim to get advantage again to attack her with my Moonblade again. So I'll twist it, pull
You
it out,
don't need
and
to
go
use
straight
steady aim
back in.
technically,
Why?
because there's other people on it, but I get you on the advantage.
I want the advantage to use Assassinate. You
Mhm.
can't use Assassinate without advantage, basically. Plus I might get a 20.
Nice.
But I did get a 20!
Indeed.
Natural 20! Natural 20!
Oh!
Hype.
So,
Holy fuck. Holy fuck.
so that is 9 piercing damage and then Assassinate damage of 10d4!
Gonna be fucking ridiculous.
Come on, be good.
I'm afraid for my monster.
47.
Jesus
It's not too
fucking
bad.
H Christ. So you sort of bring the dagger out and just finally stab it in again, and this time you can feel you've hit something, a sort of twist, and a big gout of blood, just this black sort of ichor just squirts out to the side, And Zapanyr is bloodied once again.
Yes, you did.
Can I say I love a squirter?
You absolutely can.
That's some unsettling words right there.
Straight over
We're
the
going to drop that little red circle just on there to show she's bloodied, just so we're not getting in the way of you guys. Cool. I'm literally just going to zoom my map straight in over here now. You can see it just to this one token, because this is pretty much where we're all at. So, if that's your go, then Under, Dargon.
I mean, there's not going to be a lot else.
2 points of psychic damage, stick.
I love it. But there will be a... Let's go with a precision attack. There's no need... No. Tell you what, I'll use a fainting attack, but I'm going to use it in the sense of she can't see I'm there. So it kind of gives me advantage on that one, but rules is rules.
She
That's
doesn't
how I
know
get it.
you're there. You have landed on her back.
Yeah, she can't see where I'm swinging though. That's what I'm saying. But regardless, fainting attack, I kind of get advantage on it. That was really, really bad. So I'm glad I had advantage because one of them was a natural one. However, I did. No, thankfully, it does mean that I should hopefully still hit with a. Just hits maybe. I don't know. 22.
What did you? 22 is the magic number.
I rolled an 8. It's horrible.
So 22 is the magic number.
Okay, 22 is the magic number. Right. I'm just going to roll the other two then. So 25 and 24 were the other two.
Nice. Holy weapon still on.
Holy weapon is still on.
And the radiant damage, please.
Yeah, here we go. So, do you want the?
I want all radiant damage separate.
All radiant damage separate. Fine. Yeah. So,
Oh,
let me do the slashing damage for all three then, which is. So that's 42 points of slashing damage.
Shit, bad.
68.
And then... ...24 points of... radiant damage, and that was 2d8 per hit.
Absolutely. That is a big hit, and you can see as Timiel's Wrath shines with the glow of light, both Palor and the Everlight on that, but there's also this darkish glow around the outside, almost Dark Saber-esque, as the Raven Queen joins the fight as well, and...
What?
3 times into Zapanyr's back as you just stab away, and you can see these as you stab in, light almost like shafts of light begin to beam out of Zapanyr's corpse as you stab in. That was a big hefty chunk of damage.
Did we notice that radiant damage was doing more than it seems to?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
That will, I believe, be your go, unless you wish to move.
No, I'm not going to move.
Where to?
I was going to say, I mean, like, this may be a circular die, but we are standing on the shoulders of a bony white dragon. So, no, I am not going to use any bonus action I could even possibly think of doing. No, I'm going to leave it as that. Second wind. That's my final. There we go. There's my bonus. So that is 21 points back to me. Nice. There we go. I'm done.
Okay, it's technically Bothrid's turn. I'm just looking at stuff he can potentially do.
Get out the pom-poms. Go on, guys. Go on, guys. Go on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's Bothrid. Bothrid's just going to twiddle his
got this,
thumbs and sort
guys.
of... Like, he's going to be death grip on nature's thread, and he's almost just saying some form of druidic-like chant or mantra, almost in a prayer type thing. Carstan's probably the only person that's got any chance of doing anything here, so he is going to fire 3 times. Once. 19. Yeah, that's fine. I just need to see whether he crits on a 19. No.
Oh.
Cool. So, normal. So, 28 hits, 16 to hit with the second is going to miss, and then the third is also a miss with a 13. So, one of these is going to hit as he just... And 16 points of piercing damage against Zapanyr. This one bullet just punches through the wing again. That'll be Carstan's go. They're all dead. All banished. So it's then Zapanyr's go. She is... She's going to use her action to barrel roll, basically to try and shake you all off. So I need either athletics checks or acrobatics checks to stay on this bitch.
I
She
will...
just
Yeah, vermin, get off me!
spins
I
around.
will use a lucky point, please.
Mm-hmm.
Last one. Oh, that's better. Oh, I don't know. 19 is my best roll. With a plus 16, might I add.
Jesus.
I mean, I've rolled on anyway. 25. But I am flying.
Nice.
25, yep, okay. That's fine.
You are fine. I rolled athletics 13.
13. As she flips over, you all scramble to hold on. Ander and Dargon, you both sort of... Kirik, you instantly begin to fall. So you're 40 feet up in the air. Whose goes it next? Yeah, you're gonna fall, my friend. It is... Ooh. Okay, you're going to begin to fall. Technically after your go, because the rest of the Winter's Tale crew can do sweet fuck all at this range now. And Hedam is nursing some seriously bad wounds. The person or the creature's go that's up next is then Gindris. So as you begin falling, Gindris is going to attempt to try and swoop underneath you, which is going to be an athletics check from the Silver Mystery himself. It's a 24. So you begin to fall and just like in your huge form, and you're going to see Gindris instantly just swoop underneath, and he is going to fold his wings in and turn in the small space that he's got to just sort of grasp you in your giantish form with his claws, and then sort of turn back out of it. So you're now grasped within Gindris's claws as he just goes out to there. And we're going to say, just for shits and giggles, he's down at 30 feet now with a Kirik.
Oh, blimey, Harry.
You were bardically inspired, actually, sir, still. Because I don't think any of your bardic inspiration has succeeded yet.
That's a good point.
So do you want to use that?
I rolled a 1, so it's 14.
Never mind.
No.
14 is still not quite enough.
Gotta keep it.
So, Gindris just catches, so yeah, you're still bardically inspired. And Zapanyr rolls back over. That will be then Gindris' go as well, to catch you. But it is then your turn, Kirik.
Not sure.
Not sure. What do I want?
Zapanyr is 10 feet above me, right? Because
yes,
where
technically.
Demise is. Oh, it's annoying.
Jump!
Nah. Nah. Great.
Wish I'd held on to you at this point.
Should have done. Okay, hang on. Where's Peggy? Could Peggy, taking the turn,
a bush. Say again?
roughly at the same time as me, could Peggy, taking the dash action, have enough movement to move to me and put me on Zapanyr? She's got 180 feet of movement if she dashes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happens. Because she's technically a
So I'm
large
gonna say, for the sake of
so
Peggy,
she can carry me.
Yeah.
If it might.
And I believe through that actual spell, the Celestial takes its turn after you, immediately after yours anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of allow it because it's your creature. If you want to intermingle those two turns, that is not a problem.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, we'll say Peggy
yeah,
sort
so
of
she'll
swoops in and shoots there, and we'll drop her off to the side there. As where have you gone?
Right. Probably underneath.
Probably.
Gindris.
Hey!
You get deposited back on Zapanyr. And the Silver Mystery stops fucking around. And you just hear this whinny as Peggy just soars off. And you get deposited back on Zapanyr.
Ooh, that's 6th level. That's quite big.
I'm
tell you what, I am going to cast. I'm going to just, as that's happening, also put a hand to my chest and grab my holy symbol. I'm going to cast freedom of movement on myself because I do not feel like getting paralyzed again.
Excellent stuff.
I am feeling like Kirik is going to bring down one of those nukes where it's like we're in the way. He's not really going to care.
Well, we'll see. So that spell is my action, and my bonus action. I'm going to use Second Wind as my bonus action.
Nice. Get some hit points back.
Health. Hey, 12. Nice.
Excellent stuff.
That's
so
it.
as Peggy sort of streaks in, you communicate with her, sort of shouting out in Celestial. She streaks forward. You drop out of Gindris' grasp as Gindris sees what you're doing. Land on Peggy somehow. Is Peggy a large Celestial?
He is, yeah.
I was going to say, because if not, this is going to be like General Radahn in Elden Ring.
No. Pegasi
So-
are a large celestials.
There we go. So Pegasus just as you land, and you can see she sort of strains, flaps the wings enough just to streak forward. You slide off, and then she launches up again. Excellent. At the end of your go, then Ethereal is concentrating on that. That's a concentration spell. Can he get there? Can he get there? He's not going to risk it right now. Yes, he is. So, he's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 to there. Still concentrating on banishment, but he is going to... The pages on his book just streak open. He is just going to point a finger up towards the undercarriage of Zapanyr and is going to cast a 6th level Disintegrate.
Yes.
She needs to make a Dexterity saving throw. I think that's going to fail.
I hope he doesn't kill her
though. Someone wants
we're at top.
That is a very big success.
Dissolved to atoms. Okay, cool.
I was going to say, I mean, technically I would still actually technically be next to you, but I'm pretty sure that in the realms of trying to hold on to a flying dragon, I wouldn't be able to hold on to her and hold on to you. But in terms of it...
Oh, no. If she dies to disintegration, there's no body to hold on.
Yeah, sorry. I mean in the previous round. I was trying to work out, like, could I've actually held on to you? To be honest, no. I'm holding sword, shield, and trying to hold on to her. No way I'm holding on to you as well. However, if she does disintegrate, I am flying. I'm catching your ass, if I can.
I mean, technically, I've not looked at that properly, but a disintegrated creature and everything it is wearing and carrying, except magic items, are reduced to a pile of fine grey dust.
She's not carrying us, we're holding on to her. Loophole!
It swings and roundabouts. So, anyway, it's failed, so it does nothing.
Items, not creatures.
Yeah,
I know.
Not King Panda of Vesemir, goddammit.
Specifically in the description.
And Ethereal just roars. That will be his go. Fucking wasted that 6th level spell, didn't I? And then we are back around the top to... Remley can do fuck all. And
I'm going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to get another critical hit. That's what I'm going to do, Matt. So I'm going to use steady aim with advantage as I twist the dagger out and push it in again. Oh, fuck. No. Still a 20.
Finale, my liege.
Finale.
28 is going to hit.
And then that is 10 piercing damage and then assassinate damage of... Come on. What are we talking about? Another 36. Oh.
36 points of damage. Then another gout of ichor squirts out.
Yeah.
Yes, my liege. Stab her again. Icy bitch. That's gonna be your go, Dargon.
Yep, 3 attacks. Cool. Let me take one. Yeah, 27 to hit. 25 to hit, and higher than both of those. 31 to hit.
So I need the radiant damage separate, please.
I will roll. So 34 points of slashing damage.
Shit.
Yeah, not bad. That was without a superiority die this time. 31 points of radiant damage.
Oh,
nice.
That's juicy.
That is juicy.
She's got to be looking pretty ropey now.
there's some serious. You need some sunglasses on to look at this sword.
I was going to say, the sword does glow with this holy brightness, just edged by this dark energy. As again, Dog and you. How do you want to do this?
Oh! Get in!
After the barrel roll, stand up. I'll look at Ander. Kirik's just landed next to us. And I will get... I want to walk up from the shoulder blades, spin, sword around, throw my shield, grab it, and just straight through the skull.
Nice. So you do, and this massive shaft of golden light, and you can see the eyes as the sort of head twists around slightly. Everybody on the ground at least would see this. The eyes begin to sort of flutter and the wings begin to stutter, and Zapanyr begins to fall and crash down to the floor in their final moment. I need a Constitution saving throw from the three of you.
Yuck. This is where it all goes wrong for me now.
Maybe for me and all.
Because I rolled a 1.
Oh no! Oh, you didn't. 14. That's bad
this roll then?
constitution.
23.
Nice. Everybody but Kirik fails.
Yeah.
Ander, you critically failed.
Yeah.
So
I'm dead?
this necrotic wave just beams out of her body as she dies. Technically already dead. So, Dargon, you are going to take... There's a lot of ones in there. 27 points of necrotic damage.
Yep.
Andy, you're going to take 54 points of necrotic damage with a natural 1.
Okay. I thought it was going to be like hundreds.
Could have been a lot worse.
Still nearly blooded.
It was 8d8 worth of damage, because it's effectively the blight spell that explodes out of her.
Okay, now. Only.
But I rolled a lot of ones, which kind of pissed me off a bit. But so, in this moment then, Dargon, you stab in, giant shaft of radiant light, and you can see the body just beginning to break up as Zapanyr just is crashing down now and coming down towards the party, or your allies on the floor. What are you doing in this moment?
Whether or not I've got the ability to, but I
round.
would try and grab onto both of them and slow our descent. I would let go of the sword and everything. Sword still in her skull, basically. Like, the work is done.
I can fly if I have to.
You've got a very, literally a quick moment. Rules of falling are, instant. So I'm going to say because she was flying, gliding down.
Falling towards the rest of the party?
Yeah, falling based on the momentum, falling down towards where Geo, Feltag, Bralland, Gore, Bothrid, they all are sort of in this direction.
If you allow me, you're ruling.
You alright?
Hello?
It's that time of the night again.
It's that time of the night, isn't it? Always about
It's
time
that
o'clock.
time of the night.
There we go.
Are we dead?
Hopefully we're back.
Is it gone?
Let's find out. Let's wait for it.
Seem to be
Stream's resetting.
It's crazy.
Balls.
Enough. It's literally gone.
We got an extra follow in there, did we?
We did, yeah.
We do get an extra follow, so I'll put it down for a ticket. Basically, it's just, are we on stream or not?
I was about to say, I mean...
There we go.
Hey!
Are we back?
Hey, hello, welcome back.
I don't know.
I think we're on.
Where were we?
I don't know, but I think we're now going to talk randomly for the next few minutes for the guys on stream, to be brutally honest.
Quite possibly.
Because I actually think it catches up.
So, yeah, if somebody in the chat could just let us know when you can see us properly, and we will continue. So we'll give it a moment. Because this is the epic moment. It's the critical moment. Is anybody out there?
Come on out to play.
This is bizarre. So I think the chat have all just gone, let's just act like we're not here. Everyone needs to stand really still. There we go.
Yes.
Thank you, JK.
As if you'll allow me, as we are falling on the back of Zapanyr, I will cast banishment on her body.
Oh.
I will allow you to do that.
Cool.
So, Kirik,
I'll
you
just hold on
seeing
to
that
that one.
Zapanyr is barreling,
Cool, do it.
barreling down towards the sort of crew that's spread out down below as the wings just sort of begin to fail, and in this moment there is just this. The body of Zapanyr totally disappears. You're all now barreling towards the floor instead. Oh, let's try that one instead, shall we? So I'm going to say, all probably around here at this point, around 20 feet up off the ground.
Ando, are you fine?
I can use my. I can cast fly a couple of ways actually, yeah, but I'll touch myself to cast fly using my magical loot.
Where do you touch yourself?
I'm going to ask you to
rod
make
is my
me.
arcane focus.
I'm going to ask you to make me. I need maybe a straight dexterity check, please, because you are falling like a fucking stone right now.
Don't be shit.
See if you can quickly whip the loot off and.
Dirty 20. I just need to
Dirty
strum
20
it.
is
Well,
enough.
do I
You
need
very,
to...
very quickly just power chord. And the energy just. You almost see like the magical notes and notation wrap itself around you, form in the air, wrap itself around you, and you just halt your momentum.
I can imagine like inches off the floor, you're like just staring at the floor like that.
Kirik and Dargon, you've got a moment to decide what you're going to do. Kirik is a very big creature right now.
Him.
Yeah, I mean, I have a flying speed of 60. I have 20 strength. I know that I'm not exactly going to be, doing any cartwheels with him, but I think that I can take it such as that, and just like
you have
quickly.
Powerful build.
I do have powerful build, and get to the floor. So powerful build and strength
Are
of
you
20.
flirting with him?
Well, hang on. I hope that I can at the very least get him to the ground without crippling myself.
Okay. I'm going to ask a straight athletics check based on this to just try and haul Kirik up.
23.
As this momentum is taking you down. 23, you sort of just... And the momentum's still pulling you because of physics. But just enough, and I'm going to say the both of you come skidding across the floor. Just about manage to miss Geo. as the two of you sort of land over here. You will still hit the floor. I'm going to say that is only based on the save there. You're going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage each as you just and slide to the floor, and the body of Zapanyr.
Are you standing?
Wasn't far off there. I rolled a natural one to see if the banishment continued.
Oh.
So the banishment's gone?
Rolled a 12. Oh, it's all good.
12. Alright, there we go.
Rolled a 3 on the dice.
Well, you stoned endurance to not take any of that damage, if I may, which it should be a reaction.
Absolutely.
My only question, because this is a scary question to ask. I specifically said a minute or so ago that I left Timiel's Wrath in the skull of Zapanyr.
Oh, fuck.
Where's Timiel's Wrath?
Banished.
Cool.
Timiel's Wrath is currently riding through a different plane of existence.
Face planted in the
She's going
ground.
to be livid. She's going to be livid, yeah.
I was just,
Well, as we land, I will tell the crew of the Winterstell that we need to clear up the space, move, and start moving away from where the trajectory was the Zapanyr was taking.
Okay. I'm going to roll a check for this. Okay. Yeah, okay, so everybody begins to clear out based on your sort of trajectory. Everybody's just going to dash northwards or elsewhere. Bothrid's going to book it over here. Kirik, your spiritual weapon was still out, but I'm going to say that's just fucking dissipated at this point. I
just rolled
concentrated on Tsunami.
So I just rolled a concentration check for when I got hit by the necrotic ray. However, it's okay. I rolled a 28 on it, so I did. Yeah. So actually, we don't have to retcon us slamming into the ground because I had no wings. We're all good. We're all good. I still had him.
Do this, man. Don't do this. And yeah, once we're all clear, I will just drop the spell. So that she appears at the point
I'm going to say...
You can get rid of that if you want.
In this moment... Oh. I'll put that back on Dargon. You all sort of escape out of the way, and then there's this moment as Kirik just clicks his fingers and... Oh. Round back up there. Detach. You also notice in the same moment Ethereal goes, whoa, whoa, and two werebears back into existence.
Forgot about him.
Yeah.
As the body of a white dragon just slams into the both of them, wiping them both out because they had barely any hit points left.
I love the fact that they'll go, whoa, oh.
And she's definitely not fucking flying anymore, but I'll take that off as well. The body just cascades all the way over here and slides, grinds to a halt, probably over here somewhere. And Gindris is just going to swoop down and land next to Remley when I can get Gindris in the right place. There we go. Gindris will offer some healing to Remley, which will deal with out of the fact. Yeah, so that's... I'll do that now quickly before I forget. 32 points of healing to Remley, which is not enough to unbloody him, but he looks slightly better. And we are out of combat. Peggy comes streaking down to the ground, sort of next to you, or in front of you, Kirik, we'll say. And then Ethereal will just run. He's just going to sprint. You see him just disappear across the ice, sprinting towards the body of Zapanyr. What are we doing in this moment?
I will. Well, strength of the stick's going to drop, and I'm going to go on top of Peggy and fly all the way to Zapanyr and to Ethereal.
Nice. So, put you on top of Peggy there. And you swoop across. And Dargon. Doing anything? As Ander just slightly
I'm
flies
reeling
down.
from the blow as I land, really. So I'll take a moment to compose myself.
I'll get up. I'll look around and see if there's any people who are dead, down, unconscious. If I don't see anyone, see Hedam looking a little rough, I will start walking over. As I go towards Zapanyr's body, I'll pick up my dagger, which would have been in that general direction, and then I'll go forwards.
Direction, yeah.
I'll go forwards and find, walk up to the body and hope that there is a sword in her skull.
Okay. Make me an athletics check, please. You see Ethereal again. His hand begins to burn with that greenish energy.
Yeah.
In fact,
I mean, I could. If I do see him starting that, I will then fly because I can fly twice as fast. But the athletics check will be 28.
28. So as you fly and just you can see Ethereal's hand just, and you. Ethereal, as he holds the book out.
You will not come back to haunt us again.
Cast Disintegrate on the body. Can't make a dexterity saving throw, it's dead. This body just turns to ash and dust. In that moment, you, Dargon, and Timil's Wrath, being a magical item, just swoops up into the air. And you just catch her by the hilt and land as this body turns to dust.
It is done, finally.
And Zapanyr is no more.
It is done.
Fuck for that.
Gindris will polymorph himself back down. We don't need the map anymore. Into the half-elf that we've seen before.
Rimley, my friend, are you okay, boy? Do stand. Let me help.
And Remley's just going to sort of stand up, shakily on his feet.
That was a fucking fight. Oh well, fucking worth it.
I've done some sort of random accent there, but who cares?
You boys.
As he realised he's not speaking loud enough and shouts across.
Yeah.
Next time you have a fight like this, make sure you invite the dwarf.
Oh yeah. We will.
Gindris will turn to you all now. Carry on.
What's the expression on Ethereal's face? How's he feeling?
Make me an insight check, please.
$23.
Pure rage. Unbridled rage. But with that insight check as well, you get the feeling that there's something else underneath the rage. Maybe a fear. Just something else. And then you just hear the as he slams the book closed in his hand, and it just disappears. I think our stream is still a little bit laggy there, folks, so I apologise for any of the issues. Hopefully all of that came through okay.
I'll look to Ender. Well, you're quite far away on you, Ender.
Yeah,
You didn't come to the body.
We'll say you've all sort of
No,
collected
I'm
up
still-
in this moment, the crews around you.
Yeah. As I'm kind of like moving towards Ender, I will just... as I'm walking past Ethereal, I'll just like slightly slow down and stop. And I will just kind of look at him and nod. And then continue walking towards Ander to check how he is.
And yes, I think, Andy, you said you were just staying there, so you would have been still a bit distant away from the group, I think.
Yeah, just gathering myself because I feeling a bit worse for wear. But obviously can't carry on. I'm not really overly fucked, but enough to make me sort of take stock.
I'll cast a 4th level Cure Wounds on you.
I'll take it.
Which once again you're going to see that the shield is going to glow, and there's a little bit more energy onto it that you would usually understand to be. So that's going to count as a 5th. So that is 1, 2, 3. So it's 11, 14, 18. 26 points of health.
Thank you very much.
You're right.
So, I think my main concern at the minute is now we've got rid of her. Do we need to check on the villagers to make sure they're safe in the woods and Ether got them safely?
The other question is, do we know? Are the rest of her forces now harmless? Or at the very least running for the hills? I don't know.
Gindris is going to sort of saunter up with Wembley at this point. Well done, boys, well done. As for your question, Dargon, well, I thought her long dead. Her followers, however, seem to have other ideas. When we met, we were playing captured, one could say. I put us in a point where we would, well, where our paths would collide. Knowing that, well, there was a king among you, and sensing the cold growing, they brought her back once. And there will be an item somewhere, something. Given a vessel, she may well return. But for now, the vessel is destroyed. The wizard saw to that.
Well, that wasn't quite as reassuring as I was hoping, but it sounds like it's a problem for another day. So, thank you for the confirmation.
The benefit of time and other tasks to fulfill.
If East Vale is destroyed, it'll take time to rebuild like the rest of Narnia. Bringing Ethereal into the conversation now because he's the one supplying most of the supplies along with some of the Fae who are bringing some stuff over. If we brought the villagers to Esamir, could we keep them fed, water and safe until we defeat everyone else?
And I fear that Esamir is getting a little crowded already, potentially. Can I look around? Are the houses here completely screwed or rebuildable?
Make me a perception check, please.
You need to cast mending about 85 times.
Dirty 20.
Gindris is going to step up next to you, Ander, and just place a hand on your shoulder and whisper into your ear. Look to the trees, dear boy. Look to the trees. Dargon, what was your perception check?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Some houses are going to take some time to rebuild, but as you look around, you realise that East Vale was a simple village. Simple construction, wood, thatch, hay roofs. Nothing of brick and mortar that would take a lot of time. This is a place that can be rebuilt relatively simply.
To be honest, Ander, I think we need to keep these people here. Those of Mantineer may even be able to head back with an alliance with East Vale. And I hope that this unnatural winter will actually reduce, maybe in a matter of days, if we believe that she was the source of it. They can probably recover quickly, and we need to make sure that they can come and help if they so choose, and I would like to rally them. But for now, I think we have to leave them here.
Wise counsel as always, Dagon. And when he tells me to look to the trees, what do I see if I look to the trees?
Make me a perception check, please. With advantage, seeing as you've been directed.
Natural 20. A 1 and a 20.
Nice.
Two ends of the spectrum.
Oh, there we go. Exactly what we needed. First thing you notice is a shadow. And then this shadow sort of splits and becomes two figures. One of them leans against a nearby tree there. Black-skinned arms. The colour of night itself, leaning back. Long flowing black hair.
For God's sake.
Bare-chested. Black leather trousers. Just going to look and sort of nod at you. It's the one who introduced himself as the Darkness previously stands there. And the other figure that steps out of the darkness shuffles forward. A gnarled stick held in their hands, hunched over these tattered robes, patchy white, stringy hair in this sallow grey skin. There's sort of one eye partially closed, the other one wide and yellow. The old crone looks towards you and almost bows her head when I get the eye right. In semi-reverence. And in your mind,
there will be a price for this, new king. The cards told me a lot. And the cards are always right.
Why is there always a price to pay? Why can't it just be a for the good of Ireland type situation? Eh? I should be collecting taxes, not paying them.
Border to something. The villagers of East Vale and the remaining priests, hierophants, and city folk of Mantineer sort of step out. And the head priestess, the sort of lead priestess of the Temple of the Everlight, steps forward and walks up to you. We will help them rebuild, but my promise remains my promise. When you need us, we will be there.
Thank you.
The healers will be on your battlefield.
I hope in some way this can repair something between Mantineer and East Vale. Weird as this may be.
My only request of you is, when you do go back to Mantineer, can you tell the cowardly guild or whatever they are, that they are relieved of their leadership, and you are now the steward of Montaner. As by order of the king.
Make me a persuasion check for that, please.
If she wants it, obviously. If she doesn't want it, they can vote for whoever they want. 25.
As you say, as by order of the king, the Moonblade of Esmir, the gemstone in it just flashes, and there's almost a shudder in the ground. Ethereal, Gindris, the two Fey-like figures, all stand slightly shocked and look to you. And it's Remley who speaks up.
Well, the king has fucking spoken.
There we go. Obviously, if you don't want to lead and you just want to focus on the church, you can just vote for whoever you want, obviously. As long as they're gone.
I think that royal decree is something I'm not going to be able to ignore somehow.
Oh, I'm using that again.
Dargon.
Yes.
Your attention is drawn behind you to where the pile of ash of Zapanyr lies.
I walk over.
And what you can see now is this beam of golden light just slowly shining down. And Timiel's wrath in your mind. Go to him. And as that beam shines down and becomes more solid, more vibrant, you hear the sound of flapping wings and an angel stands atop the ashes.
I walk over, presumably to the embodiment of Timiel.
And Timiel does indeed stand there in his radiant glory, the only blemish in that radiant glow being the symbol of the Horned King, of Asmodeus himself, on the shoulder, that is almost just an anti-radiant, or anti-radiance, almost like a negative space in the radiant glow.
I'll be holding on
He says nothing.
I'll be holding on to Timiel's
Right.
wrath. And as my eyes are drawn to that, I would like to look up and say, well, we're on the path to remove that, you know. We out.
He's going to hold out his hand.
I shall draw Timiel's wrath, hold her in my hand, but pointing backwards, sort of up along my arm, and I will just walk up to Timiel.
He just holds his hand out further.
And I pass the hilt over to him.
His hand is going to close around the hilt. Draw the sword. Lift it above his head. He's going to bring it down. And then he's going to draw the blade through his hand. You see the blade stained with this golden liquid. As Timiel looks at his hand, and a gash closes up, and that golden liquid bleeds across Timiel's wrath itself. And he is going to hold the blade hilt towards you and offer it back.
I take it with reverence.
As your hand encloses around the hilt, golden light shines ever brighter, almost like a giant wave. And this golden light even dwarfs the light of Timiel himself. As your armour glows, Timiel's wrath glows, your tattoos, again, almost like that negative space, as your skin itself glows, your eyes burn with golden light. And Timiel's wrath in your mind with a sense of purpose and power.
We are ready, Dargon.
Yes.
Timiel just, again with a flap of wings, gone. Doesn't say a word. You notice that Timiel's wrath herself, where the blade was plain and golden, there are celestial runes running along the blade. There is a golden gemstone, or like an amber gemstone if you like, in the pommel of the sword. And almost like golden fire, barely visible in the radiance, but you can see it there. As Timiel's wrath burns with a direct radiant fire. And you've just upgraded a weapon set.
I didn't know that was going to happen. Like, is that even possible? You feel anew. You feel as one.
I feel more. I feel purpose.
You showed purpose today. Truly.
Your friend sent me somewhere. That was bizarre.
I had to protect my brothers. I knew you'd come back.
I would not expect any less, Dargon. I'm a tool.
Far more.
Don't forget that. Ethereal at this point, just going to chime up.
Yes, this is all very pretty. Should we get a fucking move on?
I'll turn
Never
back
ceases to
around.
amaze me how charming he is.
I'll turn back around. You know, during the fact that I've had my back to the whole group during this time, I'll be like, yeah, another date. Where next? Ethereal, can you get us home, or do we have to walk back to your delightful city?
I can get us where we need to go. The decision lies with you. 4.
He includes Bothrid in this equation. Bothrid, who has disappeared, just like found his javelin of lightning, turned, seen this beam of light, and just gone. Puts the javelin of lightning back, picks up all his other weapons and discarded items.
Back to me. We gather, regroup, rest up.
There's something you two should know regarding Esamir and what I stayed behind to do.
We leave you alone for 8 hours, and what have you done?
Did the resurrection not work? Did you not get any good intel?
No, it worked. It worked.
Did he cough up the goods?
He had a change of heart.
Can I insight check Ander now? Can I be staring at him?
Yeah.
Can I be looking at his eyes?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Well, in my head, he's just getting intel off him, so I'm interested to see. So he didn't give us a tactical advantage. A change of heart, did he?
Yeah, I mean, during this conversation, I am just seeing Anders' reaction.
Yeah. Mine's a 16.
Mine is a
72.
It's not. I'm not rolling that well. That's a 23 again.
Not rolling that well. So
It's an 11
Ander,
on dice, so it's not.
There's going to be some emotions somewhere. You can decide what those emotions are. I will let you either roll a deception check or a persuasion check. Just let me know the result, and then...
interested on what he has to say about the intel. I have no inkling that he's done anything else at the minute other than question him. So it's just genuine interest currently.
So I think what the boys are trying to get at is whether there's any emotional repercussion from the fact that Theogodon, who raised you and betrayed you, is now alive again.
Well,
so
when he finds out, there's going to be some emotions.
Right, I was going to say, so
Okay.
actually, Danny's saying that Andub doesn't currently think he's resurrected, just asked questions from a dead person.
Got you.
Now, I know you're right, because I thought, but no, that's what you're saying, is that, Danny?
I thought, he's literally brought him back to life, asked him questions, and fucked him off again.
Fine,
That's
brilliant.
Right.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yep, carry on. Carry on.
Theogodon had a change of heart. I found him.
So you just put him back in the ground then?
He'll be back in the ground soon.
So is it hostage?
Not quite, no.
You have to elaborate. I'm not following.
I brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
And the part of the deal that had to be made with her was that he could only come back if he served her for an amount of time necessary for our mission to be completed. Well, my mission, really.
Served who? Who's her?
So he's
Her.
he's under her control.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, got smacked in the head a couple
Yes.
of times.
So he can't betray us.
He won't be able to.
But he can die.
Matt, would I know the nature of Theogodon? According to the deal?
Yeah, because if he's like, oh yeah, I'll do your bidding, and then he fucking stabs me in my sleep, that's it. But if he physically can't, because the Raven Queen won't let him,
I'm going to say roll me either a religion or an arcana check. But because of your background and your connection to the Raven Queen, add your proficiency bonus if you've already got proficiency, expertise.
They're both the same, so...
Okay.
Plus 12 to this. That's a natural 20 for a 32.
You wrote the
book. I've spent a lot of time now with the Raven Queen herself, studying the Raven Queen, understanding the nature of how these things work, and you've got an insight into now how patrons and their followers work. And you are well aware that any power Theogodon has above that which he had as a humanoid or a living being comes from her, and she can take as quickly as she gave. But you're also well aware that patrons can be changed. There's usually costs involved. However, there's a critical point in all of this. You saw what Theogodon was when he came back through that gate. A walking corpse. And what you brought back through the pool is more the Eladrin that he was. No red eyes, whitish skin, bluish hair. if he was to betray the Raven Queen, you think she would, and she said this, she would snap his ass back beyond the 9th gate quicker?
I will turn to Ander specific, and I will say, he has now a relationship with her, a little bit like Dagon has with the Everlight. Except Dagon, if he so wished, would be able to serve another with a price to pay, but he would be able to continue using the power that he has beyond his normal fighting capabilities. I see Gordon, if he were to attempt to change the deal that he made, he would not draw another breath. He can be killed. He might be killed. As long as the mission that the both of us have is fulfilled, he will never truly die.
What is the mission?
Kill a god.
Okay. So, I'm going to go back. My pseudo-father who killed my father is going to be there. He's on my side. He can't hurt me until we kill Asmodeus. And at that point, can I kill him again to send him back to the Raven Queen?
You might not get the opportunity. She might claim his soul first.
Oh, could you have a word for me?
Dagon pulls out a cigar and lights it and is just going, I want to watch this.
Well, if
I mean,
Dagon was
and
acting
Matt,
like he had a lighter,
I will
mechanical lighter
send you
match.
I will send you the roll. What am I looking for? I'll send it to Matt only. Can I do that?
I just won't look
I
at the
think
log.
you can either do it to self or do it to DM.
Yeah,
You're not going to see the plus. Yeah.
Just say the plus because we haven't got a clue what it would be.
That plus 17.
Okay. Kirit, reminded what you got?
for the general conversation, I got a 23, I think it was.
And Dagon got a lot less than that.
Yeah,
So I
16.
win. Okay. So what you'll see, Ander seems to have took it really, really well, and he doesn't seem phased by it at all.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Considering the thing that you just said, though, Kirik's going to say.
I definitely still want. I want to kill him again if possible. That's the condition of me
yeah.
accepting it.
I will say, as I understand that emotions are gonna run, but as far as I never knew him before he was the monster that he was. As far as my understanding of traveling there and back from the Vale, you had your vengeance. You sent him there. The individual that I brought back isn't quite the same.
I still want him to see what I have become in spite of him before he dies again.
I think that
I think that helped me resolve my daddy issues. I got to kill him, and he gets to see me become better than he ever thought I could be. Double win, and then I get to kill him again. Trifecta.
That is your best vengeance. He's on our side now, and he serves the same god I serve. So, just like I would like to believe that you wouldn't bring harm to any of us, I would prefer if you didn't bring harm to him.
Not yet. Okay. I trust you, and I trust her. After we kill Asmodeus, we'll see where we stand.
Right. I'll turn to Dargon next.
Excellent.
And I will say...
Well, you've not brought back somebody for him, have you?
No, but...
Dawnfall is just waiting for you back at home.
I also... I also know that, whilst your relationship with Theo Gordon might be a lot lesser than that Van he did, kill both of us. I just want to know where you stand on that.
Now, Dargon, I'm going to remind you of your backstory.
Yeah. I was just going to ask.
You know what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yep. The only thing you remember from that day, because you've still not seen a face, was the glowing red eyes.
Yeah. So I don't actually know if it was him, the god we're going up against, or maybe another person with red eyes who is following, who's a follower of. However, I will look at Kirik and say, yeah, I'll behave. I threaten him occasionally, but I'll behave.
Do we know that element of your backstory?
I'm entirely sure you do.
I think so.
No.
No.
I think we did.
Certainly Dargon had shared it with us.
No.
I am going to inside check.
Because to be fair, that could have been any patron. It could have been the patron before him, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Dude with the red eyes could have been any patron.
Again, 23. Just rolling 11s.
Persuasion or deception, Dargon, you choose.
I mean, so it was a 10.
So yeah, that's entirely up to you now to obviously describe what Kirik may have uncovered. If you're lying, if you're being truthful.
To what part of it was truth? Part of it was you might have to see. You sense from what he said and from the feelings you get. Yeah, he's very truthful. He'll threaten him. He will not have a hesitation if he says the wrong thing next to him. He'll take a chance, and he may, if pushed, do something without provocation. You see in the way that he's standing that he's almost going, he's trying to stop me. He's not normal at the moment. Not his normal self.
There is the briefest of twitches under Kirik's eye as he understands. And yeah, that's it.
Ironically, we guard the veil, but there is currently a thin veil between Dargon beheading him as soon as he sees him, or not.
Bearing in mind, I would just like to point out how hilarious it is. Now, I have been for the past 20 minutes thinking about there is a movie or a TV series where there's someone who can't die and they keep killing them and they keep coming back going, you do know that hurts, and for the love of God I can't remember what it is. I keep thinking about it, going, it would just be hilarious to be like, I'm really annoyed, and just like throw a dagger at him, right? And
Has it got Bruce Willis in it?
Is
it the one where he
is
has
it?
a wife
Is it
and a
Death
mistress and
Becomes
they
Her?
can't die?
No, it's not that.
That's it, Death Becomes Her.
It could be that, but I bet. Trouble is, I swear it's like a kids' movie. It's like an animated movie or something. So I don't know what it is, and that's why it's been bugging me. But like, what I'm thinking of is just that.
I'm just
fact.
setting us all off on that.
Well, that fact is that it's just like you just like behead him, and the next day you'll be like, oh.
Still there. I tell you what,
He'll be
what
back.
Dagon could do. Dagon could question him to see if it was him in his backstory. Speaking out and breaking the fourth wall.
I was about to say you'll have to find out what happens when we turn up, but
When they have a watch
Indeed.
together.
So then, as this conversation sort of comes to a natural close, or at least a pause, where you all
I
start
love how
to think,
Ethereal told us to hurry up and we just spent about half an hour having a bit of a
it's
heart-to-heart.
very, it
You
very
now
much feels
do-
like a pin in it more than the.
you do look,
Yeah.
and you can just see Ethereal just sort of stood there like,
I'm sorry. Oh, right.
Well, no time.
Are
like
we
the
done
present.
now?
Let's go.
Finished? Fuck's sake.
yeah,
Couldn't
we've
have had
been,
that conversation at home, no?
we were waiting for you.
We're very much an in-the-moment type people.
Yes, I've noticed. Right.
We'll have to,
over
by order
here.
of the king, you just shut up.
Just.
Sorry.
I haven't said it recognises a king yet.
Your prickliness rubs off on me. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
I will turn at that point to Kira and be like, well, it bodes well for for what waits are opening.
It does.
What a lovely alliance we'll have with Idril. It won't be rocky at all.
Ethereal at this point has just marched off to the corner where people emerge from, and you see him just sort of brush the floor and brush the snow and the ice away, and there is a faded stone or flagstone basically in amongst the dirt, and you can see there was once other flagstones around here, maybe in ancient times of Eastvale. But he then just places his one hand on this flagstone, and again opens his other hand, and the book appears and the pages flick. And he just closes his eyes and begins to chant again, and a number of components float out of his bag and sort of swirl around him, and then spell circle lights up, teleportation circle lights up.
Alright, everybody in, and quickly.
And everybody that's going.
As he's focused on casting the spell, could I very quickly try to ascertain via detect magic what the what's the biggest type of magic there is in that book?
Are you trying to get what school of magic he belongs to, by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a
much.
detect magic check. So I'm going to say, yeah, you turn detect magic on, and as the pages are flicking through, I'm going to ask you to make me an investigation check, just because you're trying to catch the pages as they're flicking past.
Yes. I got. Okay, so that is that and that and that. I will take a natural 20 for a 24.
Okay.
Where are my manners?
What you notice is an even split of various colours. Where you've seen mages and wizards before belong to, like, orders of evocation or orders of abjuration, there's something subtly different about Ethereal and his school. And that's all I'm going to allow with that check, even with the natural 20.
Interesting.
Because you had detect magic
Cool.
on.
Cool.
With the natural 20, just thinking about this. You've seen spellbooks before. You've seen this spellbook before. There is an underlying magic to this spellbook now which you didn't recognise in the first instance. Something is weird about it. Again, multiple colours of magic bleed through it, but there's something strange.
Okay.
As the crew of the Winter's Tale begin to sort of walk through, and Brallan helps a wounded Hedam sort of limp through, I say, with his good arm over the shoulder, holding his staff in the and Brallan holding his staff in the other arm with the trident across his back, sort of limps Hedam into the teleportation circle, and everybody. Gindris is going to stop before he enters the circle.
I have more work to do. Rimley will go with you, won't you, boy? Won't you, chap? When I am needed, I will be there. When you make your assault, the last of the silver dragons of Nyland will be with you.
That's very good to hear. Great to see you again, even if only brief.
It's always a pleasure, boys. Look out for those weird tentacly motherfuckers, will you?
Absolutely.
And go through the circle.
Yeah.
And as you all step through the circle and Ethereal's still there, you do see Remley and Gindris actually embrace into a hug. And Remley does just then trot through, Ethereal the final one to step through. And as he stands in the circle, unbeknownst to you all, before he closes the spell, he just looks towards Gindris.
Let's hope this is the last time we have to destroy her. I will not lose another student. The school flourishes. Find it and destroy it.
Gindris is just going to sort of stand there and...
Your rage has not got your students killed in the end, Ethereal. Learn to temper it. And perhaps the Prime Arcanum can be one beacon of hope once again. Do not cross those boys, or I will encase you in more ice than you have the power to deal with.
Go on, Gindris. Ah, damn.
Bloody hell, this handbag's at dawn here. Poor.
Gindris is going to turn at that point and just jump and becomes the dragon form, and as Ethereal just roils with that rage which is underlying, and then closes the spell and steps through, and you all step back into Esamir, where it's significantly warmer. There is still this dark shroud of cloud above, and people are milling about, and there are now like wooden scaffolding bits around structures, and it's sort of gone up over the last couple of days. You can see them starting to go up a little bit more, and it's beginning to feel more like a town vibe as opposed to a survival base guide, if you like, or vibe. And I think with that, that is where we will close for this evening. So well done, guys. That is the end of Zapanyr, or is it? It's the end of Zapanyr for now, at least. We will see what happens in the future. But the boys and the Wardens are one step closer to that end goal and to that final battle. We will see what they decide to do next week and see where this campaign goes. But thank you all for joining us for episode 102. Don't forget the giveaway that is still going on. I thank you to that extra follower tonight. I am totally sorry. I was totally wrapped in the game. I missed the name, but we will be sure to add you to the list and make sure you get an extra ticket in the bucket. And of course, if you're active in chat, you get the extra ticket as well. If you subscribe, 5 extra tickets per week. We are keeping the tally, so it will all be fair come episode 104, where we will make the official draw. The final thing for me to say is don't miss out on the 20th of August, I believe, where Samau and I will be taking part in a 24-hour live stream, and there will be a special episode of Malt and Magic, special one-shot episode that will be at 3 o'clock. Sorry, I will get the times sent out on social media, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 o'clock on Saturday the 20th, UK time, where you can catch the special one-shot episode of Malt and Magic with a few new characters, few new faces, and a couple of familiar ones. But until then, we look forward to seeing you next week for episode 103. If you want to go relive this episode, then it will be available on YouTube on Friday. It will also be available on your podcast platform of choice. You can also catch all of our past episodes on both those platforms. But yes, that will be us for tonight. Much love always. Thank you for all the support. It is so very appreciated. Much love to my players even. You're all awesome. But that has been episode 102. I'll get my words out. Episode 102. We're the Malt and Magic crew. Stay safe, folks, and we will see you next week.